Welcome to Discover a New Future series, tips for eating healthy on a budget or on the run, with our friendly ShopRite dietitian, April Crowley.
Well, I'm really so happy that you're here just to kind of give us some tips to these 10 series about different ways we can actually eat, but in a healthy way, but also having fun at the same time. And also learning that we don't have to feel deprived when we eat healthy. April is going to do some demonstration and just kind of show us hands-on what are some of the little changes we can make in our lifestyle that can actually help us in our eating habits. So April is a dietitian at ShopRite. April Crowley, am I right with your last name? And April, if you could actually share with us a little bit about what you do at ShopRite and what this whole initiative is all about.
Okay, so ShopRite is very happy to employ 130 dietitians throughout their stores. Have been for the last 10 years, but all the stores are kind of, we're all kind of joining on now. So there's a lot more of us now than there used to be. So really our job is to work in the store to help families live and eat better. So to that end, all of our services are free for customers. One of the main things we do is free one-on-one nutrition consultations. So we actually sit down with people, depending on what the issue is that they're looking to change their eating habits for. A lot of people want to lose weight. That's a very common one. We also have a lot of people with different disease states, and they need to learn how to eat for health. So we do counsel a lot of people with diabetes, with high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and we get a lot of moms with picky kids. So that's a really big one that we work with. In addition to the consultations, we also do personalized store tours, which are my favorite parts of the job. So we can take people around the store one-on-one or in groups and actually show them how we shop, and maybe find out things that they really love and help them find maybe a little bit better alternatives to kind of fit in with what they're trying to achieve. And then besides all of that in the store, we also work out in the community. So we go out into the community to schools and senior centers and YMCAs.
That's awesome.
And we do a lot of education and cooking classes and things like that. And all of our services, again, are free for customers and for the community.
Wow.
So
That's
just
awesome.
a great way to make us accessible to people.
Yeah, because going to ShopRite, I'm going shopping for food, you would not know that all these other components exist. Services exist.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about the healthy eating for kids, that fun little things?
So it's a new initiative. It's called our Free Fruit for Kids program. So in the produce department, we have a basket that's designated just for kids 12 and under to take a piece of fruit while they're shopping for free. So right now we have bananas and clementines. Very delicious, very sweet. Really anything we can do to try and help families and kids, maybe make a little bit of a healthier choice when they're in the store.
That's awesome. We're going to be talking about goal setting. Because when we want to eat healthy, sometimes we, as in everything in our lives, having a goal is very important. And I think when we're thinking about our eating habits, that's one of the last thing that we actually think about. What is the goal? So today, April is going to be sharing with us some tips in terms of setting goals. When we're trying to eat healthy, not only for dietary reasons in terms of losing weight, but also if we have health challenges. So, April, the floor is yours.
It's interesting you said that goal setting is the last thing we think of, because actually goal setting really should be the first thing that we think of. I like your sign. Ready, set, stop is absolutely right. So one way I like to put this, imagine you get in the car with the intention of driving somewhere, but you don't know where, and you don't know where you're going to get there, or how you're going to go get there. What happens?
All over the place.
Exactly. You tend to meander around. It maybe will take you a lot longer to get someplace than it would have if you'd had it planned out. You might get distracted. You might get lost along the way. You may never get to where you actually wanted to wind up. So that's very, very similar to the idea I want to put out here today, is that goal setting really is key, to have a clear idea in mind of where it is that you're looking to go. The other benefit of goal setting, we're going to get into some specific goals in a minute, but some other benefits of goal setting really is that by setting small, manageable steps that you're trying to achieve, not only does it give you kind of that feeling of accomplishment that you're actually making progress towards your goal, but it also helps keep you motivated. So you can always keep on focusing on the things that you've already accomplished, and it also helps you focus on the path ahead of you and where it is that you're looking to go. So I counsel patients every day in the store, customers in the store. So we get all types of goals. You know, everyone has something specific that they're looking to do. So whether it's, you know, that they really want to lose weight, you have people who really need to get their blood sugars in check. You have people who want to lower their cholesterol. Some people who just want to make healthier choices and don't know how. So all of those are great goals. But I like to go with a little bit more specific because I think it really helps to actually find out what it is you're trying to achieve. So let's say your goal, as so many people's is, to lose 20 pounds by the summer. Good goal. That's a valuable goal. Yeah, exactly. That would be really great. 2 issues there. 20 pounds can be a bit of a big jump
stretch
for a lot of people. Exactly. For most people, that's a big stretch. Also, by summer, doesn't actually give you a clear timeline. So that could mean by the first day of summer, could mean by the end of summer if you don't make it there by the beginning of summer. So what I like to do is first break it down into smaller goals. So if we're going to say we want to lose 20 pounds by the summer, you know, maybe saying we want to lose 4 to 6 pounds in the next 4 weeks. And as a dietitian, 1 to 2 pounds a week of weight loss is usually recommended for most people. So, you know, if you have to lose weight. So 4 to 6 pounds in the next 4 weeks. It gives us a clean timeline, and it also gives us a clear goal in mind.
That makes sense.
But beyond that, we want to talk about the strategies. So you can't just say that and then say, well, I'm just going to get there somehow. You know, you need to know how to do it. So I'd like to have strategies in place. So for something like that, it could be, I'm going to eat 4 dinners a week at home. It could be, I'm going to go to the gym at least 3 times this week. Because these are things that it also gives you, again, that kind of extra step of feeling like you fulfilled something. If you get to the end of the week and you notice that you didn't make that 3 times, maybe you know, that's something to remember for next week. And if you didn't do it, you know, then you get that feeling of accomplishment that you did something. And if you're super type A personality, it gives you extra things to cross off your list, which is totally me. So it's really helpful. But really what I want to just stress on people is if you have health goals, if you have weight loss or, you know, eating for a condition in mind, really to use the ShopRite Dietitians as a resource. Again, all of our services are free.
One of the things I always think about, small successes build on each other. And I think that's basically what you're saying.
Exactly.
Just take little bites. The best way to eat an elephant is 1 bite at a time. Do you remember this? I remember growing up and hearing about the pyramid and how many veggies I should be eating, etc. But it was so hard to follow and overwhelming. But I just recently found out that the pyramid no longer exists. The new way of actually looking at eating is to look at my plate. So today, our dietitian from April from ShopRite is going to share with us the difference between these 2 models and why my plate is more easier to follow and more helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Thank you again for having me.
You're welcome.
So before we even get started on the My Plate, I want to go back to the pyramid.
Oh, okay.
Because really this is what most people know. I counsel people every day, and most people that I talk to don't even know that this doesn't exist anymore. And they don't know that there isn't anything new to have replaced it. So this was the old the food pyramid. A few issues that as a dietitian that I have with this. First off, it says, you know, meat, poultry, fish, 2 to 3 servings. That's well and fine. It sounds easy enough, but most people in this country don't actually know what a serving looks like.
You're right.
So that's kind of our first issue there. If you are under the impression that a serving of meat is an 8-ounce burger, you could wind up eating easily 3 or more extra servings of protein a day than you actually might need.
Right.
So that was my first issue with this, is that it's just not giving a good, clear understanding of what a serving actually looks like. Secondly, the bottom of the pyramid, do we notice what's there on the bottom?
Everything you're not supposed to eat.
Not that you're not supposed to eat, but it's your carbs, it's your bread, your cereal, your rice, your pasta, which is fine. I mean, that is a huge portion of our diet does come from carbohydrates, from foods like this, from grain foods. But the issue with this is that it kind of gives a misperception that the starches really make up the base of the diet, which isn't exactly how we want to look at it anymore. So that's my second issue there. After that, really, it doesn't also differentiate between necessarily good and bad choices in each category. So with meat and with poultry, it doesn't talk about lean proteins versus some of your fattier proteins. And with starches, it doesn't talk about whole grains versus processed grains. So there's a lot of information that's kind of missing from this. And then the last one is kind of, maybe this is just me because I'm a little OCD. So there's all these little dots on the food pyramid. So you can't really tell from here, but they're yellow and white. And really, these are supposed to represent added sugars and fat.
Oh, really?
So they're scattered throughout all of the food groups, which I think is supposed to show that added sugars and fats are present in all of these different groups, which is fine, but it doesn't give any explanation of what does a dot mean? Is a dot representative of a certain amount? Is it, what is the actual guideline? It just says use sparingly, but that can mean different things to different people.
That's true.
So I think this really is a confusing tool for people. So the new one is the My Plate. So what do most people eat their meals off of?
A plate.
A plate. So this is just such a relevant visual aid because it really, I mean, you can visualize as you're eating. Is my plate actually looking like this? So we have the one here we're going to talk about. We also have a plate here. So this plate here we sell in ShopRite. I love this one because it's actually a nice looking plate that you could serve guests on. So it is a little bit nicer. But it has the same information that this does, except around the edges, it does also say make half your grains whole and make your proteins should be lean proteins. So I think it's giving a really, really good picture of what you should be doing. But now to get more into My Plate. So half of the plate should be fruits and vegetables. We understand. For breakfast, maybe that half is going to be just fruit. For dinner, maybe that half is going to be just vegetables, which is okay. It's just the idea that we want to have a combination of fruits and vegetables throughout the day just to get a big variety, and that it should always be making about half of each plate that we have throughout the day. Of the other half, we have a little bit more than a quarter actually is going to be grains. And there is an emphasis on choosing at least half of your grains to be whole grains.
Okay.
So things like brown rice, whole grain pastas.
Oh, okay.
Do you know any other whole grains?
Barley, barley, and what's that one that you shared in class?
I did farro, and I did
yes.
quinoa. So there's a lot of really great grains that are considered whole grains that maybe we don't include in our everyday diet, but they're great things to include because they have added nutrients and some more benefits, which we're going to get into in other segments that we do. And then the last part of the actual plate itself is protein. And again, we want to emphasize on lean proteins. So what does lean protein mean? Lean proteins can be anything like lean red meats. It can be chicken, turkey, fish. Fish is a wonderful thing that we're always trying to encourage people to eat more of for the good fatty acids. So it could be fish. It could also be non-meat sources of protein. So it could be beans and legumes and nuts. So a lot of really great variety to have there. And really the key there is to have a variety of proteins because they're all so different and they have such different things to offer for health-wise. And then we put the dairy on the side with the new My Plate, which I like because a lot of people who I talk to don't actually include dairy in their diet. So if you do, the idea is that it shouldn't be the base of your diet. It is something that we're adding in. So we still recommend for low-fat dairy sources, so low-fat yogurt and cheeses and low-fat milk. If you don't choose dairy, we can just ignore that. We can just take the little dairy, let them just be gone. But then I do want to encourage people to make sure that they're adding in fruits and grains and vegetables that are actually going to give them some of those nutrients they're missing from the dairy. So the calcium and the vitamin D, those are two things that you get from the dairy that we can get through plant sources. So with things like green leafy vegetables, almonds are a good source.
Okay.
And then some of your meats as well. Some of your fish also are a good source of those.
That's awesome.
So, it's just a really nice visual, I think, for people. And really the key here, again, is just variety. So trying to add new foods just to make this an interesting plate.
Right. Again, we want to make this fun and delicious at the same time.
And if you need help figuring out how exactly you want to fill your plate, again, we're welcome. We're in the store. We have our free services available, free one-on-one nutrition consultations, and store tours. So if you're looking for new options to add to your plate, we're always there to help.
Color matters. Have you ever gotten one morning and felt so yucky, but in order to kind of build up your spirit, one of the first thing you do is put on something with a bright color and just change the way that you look and how you feel. Well, color does matter.
It sure does.
And that's what we're going to talk about today, that color matters even in our food that we eat. And again, from my class, I thought a grape was a grape was a grape, but not all grapes are made equal. Right?
Yeah.
So what April is going to talk about today is that color matters and what we get from different foods. So for example, we have grapes here, but each of these grapes give us different nutritional benefits, right?
You're right. They absolutely do.
So the floor is yours.
Thank you. So you did say they're not created equal, which is true, but I do want to stress also none of them is necessarily superior to the others.
Okay.
All of them have different health benefits that are beneficial to us. So we've talked earlier about trying to make half our plate fruits and vegetables as that being a really important part of a healthy diet. But we didn't go as deep into that as we should.
Okay.
So color really does matter when we're talking about fruits and vegetables. Variety really is, they say it's the spice of life. It's really the key also to a healthy diet. So I have some different fruits and vegetables here. All of these have different vitamins and minerals, but they also have something called phytochemicals. So phytochemicals are a compound that are in the fruits and vegetables that work together with the vitamins and minerals and the fiber to help kind of promote overall good health. And also some are associated with reducing risk of diseases. So really fun and helpful to know about. So we're going to start first. We have our red. So red and pink produce contain something called lycopene. So we're thinking things like cranberries, watermelon, tomatoes, all have lycopene in them. So this has been associated with a lower risk of certain cancers and also heart health. A diet that has enough lycopene actually has been shown to protect against heart attacks. So there also is some evidence as well that lycopene can help reduce inflammation in the body, which is something that I think a lot of people, there's a lot of link with inflammation and chronic diseases, but even just, injuries, all of that's due to inflammation. So, it's a really great food and color to incorporate in your diet. And I specifically chose a canned tomato. One, because this is our Wholesome Pantry Organic. So this is our new ShopRite private label. Everything that used to be ShopRite Organic, if you've seen that in the store, is now turning over to Wholesome Pantry Organic. So just our new thing we're really, really excited about in the store. But I also wanted to bring a canned tomato specifically because tomatoes that have been cooked actually have a higher content of lycopene, which I think is really interesting.
That's interesting.
We all think like the raw fruits and veggies are alive and fresh, but there are some that actually cooking them does make them even more healthier. So that was our red. We're going to move through our rainbow. We're going back to art class in elementary school. We're going to go through our rainbow here. So we're going to move on. I have a sweet potato here, but we're kind of lumping orange and yellow fruits and vegetables together into one. So these are things like carrots, mangoes, sweet potatoes, butternut squash. It's a really great one now that everyone likes.
And time of year is coming around,
Perfect
right?
with the time of year, absolutely. So these contain a family of compounds that are called carotenoids. So one of the benefits of carotenoids is that things like beta carotene, that's one of the carotenoids, it's converted into vitamin A when it's in the body. So it can help with eye health. It also helps with our immune system and skin and bone health. So getting a diet that has enough of the carotenoids really can help benefit all of those things. In addition to that, it also does help with cancer prevention. There's been some link there with anti-inflammation, which we know again is really something that a lot of people are looking for. And also an overall improved immune function and a reduced risk of cataracts. So just wide range of things that these compounds can do. So really, really great. Again, we're just going to keep moving along, but we're not leaving anyone behind. We're just going to keep adding.
So for this, would this be considered one of our starch on my plate?
This would. So this would actually fall into the green group as a starch. Certain fruits and vegetables like corn, beans, peas, sweet potatoes, and regular potatoes really do kind of act in the diet more as a starch than a vegetable.
I didn't know
So
that.
yeah, absolutely. We're going to move on to our green. So I have broccoli here. So green and then greenish yellow fruits and vegetables. So the greenish yellow are things like kiwis, or straight green are things like our broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage. These have all been shown to have something called indoles in them, which actually work as a natural detox in your body. Everyone's looking for a detox. Look no further than your green veggies.
Right here.
So a diet that has enough of the green vegetables in it will actually help to naturally detox anything going on in your body that you're trying to get rid of. As well, certain vegetables that fit into this category are called cruciferous vegetables. You ever heard of these?
No.
No? So they're cruciferous vegetables. It's a really long, crazy name. It's things like cabbage, Brussels sprouts, anything that grows on a stalk.
Oh, okay.
So it's those vegetables that they actually have some extra benefits associated with cancer prevention. So again, another really great color to make sure we get enough of in our diet. And some also have lutein, which is another thing that's actually really great for eye health.
Okay.
It's another benefit there. And then we're moving along again, and we're going to go to our blueberries. So blue and purple fruits and vegetables are things like your eggplant, if you eat the skin, your blueberries, and your plums. So they contain anthocyanins, which is a compound that actually is associated with supporting a healthy blood pressure and also just overall heart health benefits. So blueberries in particular I chose, these are actually the food with the highest antioxidant content of any food. Kind of one of the reasons we call these one of our superfoods. But really, anything that you're looking for with blue or purple, you just want to go with an option that's as dark as you can find. So if it's an eggplant, going for one that's got a really nice, dark, bright purple skin is going to have more of those health benefits than one that's really a little paler. Yeah. And then I really, again, want to stress, because I love this picture we have, and I love all of these. So I really want to stress that none of these is really superior to the others. No color is something that we want to focus solely on. Really, it's all about getting a balance of every color in the diet just to maximize the health benefits that are there.
So when you look at your plate, the more colors that they are is the more nutrition.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
As many colors as you can do. And if you're looking for help to try and get more colors on your plate, we can do a store tour of just the produce section. We could just show you around and show you what's in season and really focus on, you know, how to get those colors throughout different times of the year.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so how could they contact you?
So they can reach out to either 1-800-ShopRite to find a dietitian near them, or they can go onto the website, which is ShopRite.com/wellness. They can go on there and click on health events. And it has a whole list there of stores with dietitians, so they can find one in their area.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you know what? I'm going to take one of these.
Yeah. Good one as well.
Delicious.
I know.
Thank you so much, April.
Thank you.
This was wonderful.
Good.